Welcome, guys, to episode 29 of the ChatTactic for 2024. And we're not going to have enough time, but this is just running down these promos. They just ended literally as I started to stream. Let's have a look at the... Oh, these are pretty good. 35% off. That's actually not too bad. Anyway, I better refresh because that is supposed to not be the case. It's still saying it's there. Offer ends in. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you can still snaffle it if you wanted to grab Age of Wonders 4. There's a lot of things actually that expired right now. And so I was sort of looking at the like 5 minutes beforehand. I was just sitting up to do the actual ChatTactic stream, and that was I was looking at everything that was expiring like right now, and there's so much. Like there was like, as I say, the Age of Wonders stuff. So unfortunately. That's no longer, well, it's still saying it's on special. There may be a grace period, so if you do want to grab Age of Wonders 4, snaffle it up. Hi, Mike, and hi, Thor. I'll just quickly go through a few of the other things you may want to have a look at on Steam if you're trying to get it. WarHammer Day was on Saturday. Some of these, I think, are also expiring around about now. If we have a look at, if I just pick one that would be a good one to grab. I know that there's a lot of... We'll go through all this stuff in detail, but anyway, because there's this... I think there's... I'm pretty sure that, like this one here, Mechanicus, for example, is that still on special? Or has it just expired? It's just expired, damn it. Okay, so we're missing out on all this stuff, unfortunately. I'll still cover what happened, I guess, with the games, because there was some good specials. I don't know if the Slytherin ones are still on special. Let's have a look at some of those, because there was again. There's a bit of things we need to talk about. I'm sort of rushing because I'm trying to think if there is stuff that can be picked up, might as well grab it now if you are interested. But I think literally everything just expired just as I started to stream. Let's look up Gladius. Yeah, no, it's gone back. It's gone back. It's no longer cheap. So yeah, unfortunately, everything has literally just expired right now. It was that was 90% off. So sorry, guys. This is going to be one of these situations where we literally missed out by a couple of minutes. I'll just go back to Age of Wonders again. I'm surprised that's actually still showing up with that one there. If I just roll that one forward. Yeah, no, it's gone back. It's gone back to full price, damn it. Okay, so we missed out on all of those for this particular one. So my apologies. Yeah, people have actually asked me to do the streams a day earlier. It's hard for me to do it a day earlier, actually. But we wouldn't have missed out on these if I had have. So anyway, unfortunately, we'll still go through. There's still a lot of news to talk about with these games, but the specials were sort of running at that point in time. The other thing as well is is this turn-based? Yeah. It's also it's switching off right now. As when I started up, I opened this up and thought, turn-based RPG is still actually running. But then I noticed it actually finishes at October the 7th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and so I actually opened up my. This is what I use to help manage my time when I'm trying to plan, what I've got to do for different streams and things. And there's Pacific time through there. There's October the 7th. There's 10 a.m. So that's just expired as well. I'm assuming if I refresh this page, it will then be something different. Yeah, it's something different. So we missed out on that one as well. I'm wondering if I think that there's still the Hooded Horse deals on. I think. If we have a quick look and see. Hooded Horse Publisher Bundle. We'll just have a quick look at Hooded Horse. Yeah, looks like yes. So the Hooded Horse specials are still going. Okay, so there's one that we've got. So I don't know what the next one will be for Steam, but yeah. So the publisher sale is still on for Hooded Horse. I think for just another day or so. I don't think it's on for much longer. Maybe this week, but I can't recall actually exactly what that one's there for. Hi Matthew, if I didn't say hello before. So anyway, unfortunately, they've now all just finishing up, but you still can grab the Hooded Horse, which we spoke about it in detail last week, so I won't be covering Hooded Horse again today. What I did want to talk about today was like with Warhammer Day, there is an announcement that I'm actually really quite happy about. So I want to look at that, and also I want to go into a bit more of a deep dive into Age of Wonders 4. So I think we'll probably just start there. There's also a few other little things as well. Like if we go into, I was having a quick look at the. I didn't even know about Warhammer Day. You know, like that was on Saturday, I think. So it was just a few days ago. But the specials were very short-lived. If I just go back to my Steam page, go to my library, and have a bit of a look here, Warhammer Day through there. This let's just start here and just work our way through. Oh, by the way, we do have a giveaway today. We do have a giveaway, and it's an exciting one, guys. You will be wanting to be part of this. Let's just have a quick look. It's Gloomhaven. It's the actual Gloomhaven game, which is not insubstantial. It's a very cool game. It sort of rates 84% for all reviews. Recent reviews are 78%. So it rates pretty highly. It's a game that is based on a board game, and there's a lot of procedural generation with the actual game itself. So at the end of the session, we'll have a marble run, and that will be the prize for today. So special thank you to Twin Sails Interactive, actually, for providing that key, which is awesome. I will be doing some content on the DLC for this as well. But this is a game that I would like. If you're watching this channel, if you like this sort of the content that I sort of play, you will like Gloomhaven. If you don't actually have it, it's Gloomhaven itself has got an interesting background. Actually, it's from what I can remember of it. Like it's been a couple of years since I've actually done any content on Gloomhaven, but it was I think it was like a Kickstarted board game that just went absolutely ballistic, and so it ended up being really quite a big like it ended up being a big deal essentially when the board game came out. And then Gloomhaven, the actual game itself, was very faithful to it, and it's sort of one of these things where everything is procedural, including the meta game that you then sort of play. So there's a lot of things. You've still got choice, and the idea is that you go in like it's a board game, so it's technically is best played with actual people, and you sort of play cooperatively, but you can play single player as well. So that's sort of really how it does sort of work. It's as I said before, everything is sort of set up in a procedural way. It's interesting. It's very interesting the way it sort of does work. So Mike's saying I've got the Gloomhaven board game. It's a beast to set up. Yeah, there's so much in it. Like it's massive. In fact, if we have a look at that, let's go and open her up. I love board games, but I don't have Gloomhaven. Gloomhaven board game. There we are. Yeah, so that's $239 Australian, I guess that would be. Gloomhaven board game. It does rate again pretty highly. Back into here. Wow, there's 2,492 images. Don't know if it's going to sort of show us I won't go through all 2,000 images as such. They're just different characters. What's some of the boards that we end up having? Yeah, there's so much in it, and the game itself has it's card driven to a degree, but it's also very strategic. It's not easy. It's not an easy game, but it's a great prize to actually have, to be able to give away. So there's a lot of detail, a lot of content in the actual game itself. Very cool the way it sort of has been put together. Very cool. Anyway, so that's the prize today. A big prize. That's Gloomhaven. Okay, so yeah, that was Mike saying he's already got the Gloomhaven board game. Yeah, but. So at least it's fairly easy. Matthew saying the Gloomhaven board game needs a whole table and room dedicated to itself. Yes. And Thor is then saying to Mike, the Gloomhaven PC game is better than the board game. It's better for that reason alone. Yeah, okay. And Richard Phillips is saying Space Hulk was plain enough. Yeah, that's another one that I enjoy the computer game. I've never played the actual board game. I think that would be fairly annoying to play, actually. I could imagine that one being a difficult one. Matthew's saying, I think that the sequel Frosthaven is even bigger. Yeah, I think so. Matthew, I think based on the success of Gloomhaven, actually maybe we'll just play the trailer. That's the launch trailer. Let's play this one here.
Peggy 12.
I've got to be careful of music that plays.
I've been told that you're looking for mercenary work.
Every time I do a chat tactic, I get demonetized. Or that video does.
Definitely not easy, though it can be quite lucrative. You're hired blades now.
So you can see it's hex-based.
Wandering heroes on a righteous quest.
You have a lot of choice as to what sort of characters you have.
Smashing in skulls, killing monsters, or whatever else you're sent out to do. Just remember that you're paid to get results, not ask questions. You'll face undead creatures, merciless tribes, and terrifying beasts beyond mortal comprehension. You'll have to fight dirty if you want to survive. The enemies you'll encounter don't believe in playing nice. With success comes opportunity, but not every opportunity is worth your while. Some employers will ask you to unearth mysterious artifacts, better left alone. Others will pay a high price for help taking control of the city. Of course, not everyone's cut out for that type of work these days. I suppose the city guards can always use a hand. Hardly the fastest path to prosperity, but if protecting the weak and defenseless is your friend... Well, to each his own. Now, you can always choose to turn your back on greed, but there's one simple fact that's never going to change. You're a mercenary, hired to kill. In one way or another. At the end of the day, everyone needs to eat.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, I've got to say. It's now that what that doesn't really sort of show is, and maybe I'll just show a few of these as well. What it doesn't show, this is what the game looks like. Now I can't actually make it any bigger than that, unfortunately. I don't think we can. No, I can only sort of go through it. You can see it's hex based. It's turn based, so the video is sort of showing like almost cutscene type interaction. It is extremely strategic or tactical, I guess, is the way you sort of think of it. So it's a game it's not easy. It's a bit like Age of Wonders in the sense of the complexity of the actual tactical battles themselves. It's got a Mordheim vibe about it, like in terms of the way it sort of does, like the way you approach the game essentially, with you sort of being like a mercenary team. But it's certainly the tactical battles are much more complex than Mordheim's. So anyway, that's Gloomhaven, which is I'm really happy to be able to have a prize like that, because I think that's going to really be a good one to grab if you are sort of looking for, if you haven't heard of the game, or if you've got the board game and you want the computer game, then you will be wanting to be in that draw in a couple of hours' time. Okay, so what else have we got through there? So Matthew is saying Space Hulk is a choir boy compared to Gloomhaven. Yes. Hi, Bjorn Gaines, how are you going? Hi, Richard, how are you going? So I played a little bit of it, and it seems quite difficult. It is a difficult game. It's not an easy game. Matthew's saying same. It seems a lot of work to set up for not much reward in play. It's very card-based. It's card-based, but still, when I was playing it, I found it really, like the computer game, I found it very, very strategic. But having said that, I mean, it was easy to set up with a computer game. Like it was actually pretty cool that like that. So Original Intent saying, wow, this looks great. Yeah, it's sort of funny. It is currently off as well. Like it is on special. Or it was. Maybe it's just. Has it gone? Is it still on special?
Peggy 12.
Just close that one off. It's not for me. Maybe it is for somebody else. Okay, so yeah, Richard's saying I meant the PC game. Yeah, it is a difficult game to play. It is a difficult game to. It's not an easy one to actually play the actual game itself. It's very unforgiving. So just be aware of that as well. You've got to be extreme, like Age of Wonders. It's very much like Age of Wonders in just how brutal it can actually be. Anyway, that's the giveaway for today, which is awesome. That's a really, really cool giveaway. So I'm very happy that we've got that one through there. Oh, here we go. We've got the Digital Board Games Autumn Sale. When's that on? Has that just started? This might be the next one, actually. Did that... when did this one happen? When did this one happen? God, I'm not up to date with what does go on here. This might be the new... Oh, Carcassonne. 60% off. Wow. Wow, okay. Look, it's an oldish game, but it's based on a board game. It doesn't get old. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, we might have to have a look at some of this stuff. Yeah, let's let's take a quick detour and have a bit of a look to see if there's anything really, really cool. One deck dungeon, no idea what that is. I'm just looking for the big ones. At least the ones I'm familiar with anyway. Deck building. When does this one start? Did it only just start? Go to main page. What does that one do? Digital board game. Oh, that's just it there. Okay, so we've got. I'll just try to find the list. Where is that list? There could be some really good deals in here actually. Oh, Wingspan, that's a great board game. So that's the actual game itself is available there. I'll just find the list. Come on, where's the list? It's not showing up. It's just this list here. I'm not sure how I can find that. Digital board game sale. There's usually a way to do it. Oh, okay, so let's go have a quick look at this one through here. From digital, that's going to be not really everything that we want. But this Gloomhaven is definitely... I'll just go back. Just go back out again. And we'll just start with Gloomhaven again. I won't get too caught up. There's a lot to talk about today. Is it on special? Is it on special? No, it's not for me. I'm not sure where that 30% was, but it would sort of make sense if we've got this autumn sale for digital board games. But anyway, that's I won't go through all that stuff through there. Okay, so where are we up to? Matthew's saying I definitely have a bash at the PC game. Original intent saying Arco Mage was a fun card-based minigame as one of the Might and Magic games. Oh, okay. Was that in that list, was it, in the digital board games? I'll see if I can find more information about that, because that is of interest. The third-party event is presented by Arkham Digital. Yeah, it's also the best digital board game. So I'm not sure what that group actually is. I'll just have a look through these ones that we've actually got through the ages. Carcassonne, I would recommend that one if you're into board games. No idea what they are. Yeah, that's in that group. Fun with tiles. Yeah, I don't know the others there. No idea what they are. Okay, there's not much in here. Oh, there's Gloomhaven. It's presented there, but it's not on special for me. I wonder if it is on special for others. Fighting games. Yeah, Gloomhaven again. It's not showing any specials though. Maybe that will show up. Yeah, deck building. Yeah, look, I won't go through them. That's all right. We'll just continue back on our track. Now, did I miss something else before? Yeah, so Thor is in saying way up the top there. I've recently just started to dig into Distant Worlds 2, but cannot figure out how to use the spaceship designer. My templates keep disappearing or getting upgraded wrongly. Could you do a video on that? I can show you that straight away, actually. Actually, can I? I'd like to show. I've got yeah, I think I can do it. I've got to be careful because I've switched over my Distant Worlds game to the new Shakturi DLC, and just let me tweak it. Just let me tweak it, and I'll show you. I'll just do a quick rundown because I do want to talk briefly about it because Distant Worlds is releasing the Return of the Shakturi in a couple of weeks' time. So yeah, I'm in the closed beta here. I won't change things. I really shouldn't show it. If I'm just showing the builder, I think I'll be okay. I've really got to be careful that I don't show content that shouldn't be shown. I mean, they've shown a lot of it anyway. Yeah, maybe I'll just risk it. Yes, actually, original 10 saying my bad. Now Gloomhaven is not showing as on sale. Yeah, it may flick back on again. I'm not sure. Yeah, okay, so no, that's quite strange. Gosh, I don't really want to be reloading in the other, like the non-closed beta. I think if I'm just going to show that aspect, there's no changes to that, so I will actually fire it up, and I'll just try to load in a previous game. So close your eyes, everyone. But this is because it's not that difficult when you know what to do. But it's difficult to just explain it without actually showing it. So if you're trying to sort of build your own ships, what I'll do is I'll set up a game, like before the DLC is used. So I'll just let it load in. Because I'll be doing this a lot. I'll be doing a much deeper dive into Distant Worlds 2 when the Return of the Shakturi does release. By the way, there is the new public beta has now sort of been released as well, and so this one is using 1.2.5.9, which is the same as the public beta right now. The only difference between this and the version that is publicly available is the DLC, the Return of the Shakturi DLC. If I just quickly start a new game, there's only a few little things in here that are from that, so I should be okay as long as I sort of pick stuff. I'll just rattle through this one. I'll just go to random, and yeah, if I just do any old thing in through here. I'll just go to any of these at this stage. I've just got to be really careful that there's nothing there that's... there was a little bit of the DLC in that last screen, but anyway, it's not going to show anything on the screen. Actually, I forget what... yeah, anyway, we'll be okay. So Mike's saying any chance of new RimWorld videos or resurrecting your old? I've got to run through my videos. I've got. Unfortunately, it's thousands of them, and it feels so overwhelming. Like I should just do like 100, a week or something, and just release, do that, because I do get asked that a lot. Okay, Mike's saying, I gave up on designing my own Distant Worlds 2 ships and enjoy the game more. You can still direct the AI to focus on certain... Yes, you can. There's a lot you can do. Again, I'm not going to spend too much time in here simply because I can't recall exactly where the new content is shown, and I don't really want that to be a feature of this video at all until it's time. So I don't want any spoilers or anything sort of being shown with this. So even though I'm using... the DLC version, I won't be showing any DLC. But designing your own ships, I like doing it. I really enjoy it a lot. But I'll just go through the steps. So it is taking a long time to load in though. Just wait. But I do want to quickly mention that there is this new version 1.2.5.9, which is, and I would recommend that you do. Grab that public beta, so you can just opt into that one. And as you can see there, the closed beta is the same version. So it's at this stage they're They're running concurrently, except that we do have the DLC at the moment for testing. So, God, it's taking a long time. Come on, come on, come on. It's funny, whenever you need it to go fast, it will go slow. They're all like that, all these games. They're quite complex. But I think that there's going to be some really interesting things coming through here. Let's just get started. Just dismiss all this stuff. Just dismiss all this. Just get rid of all that stuff. Okay, so we are playing as the Xenonauts in this instance. One of the things, I'll just pause that again for a second. One of the things when you are playing the game is to know what you're good at if you're going to be designing ships. The first thing I like to do, if I just go back into the policy settings, I'll rattle through this one fairly quickly. Make sure you go to policy settings. Just make sure you, like I've put it on default. Now again, there's going to be some other little things in here, but the things that you want to be changing are your fleet formation, fleet postures, and fleet ship management type thing. I put all them on manual, so I just sort of put them on manual for myself. They don't change the actual design of the ships. You do want the ship designer to actually do its own thing, so you go to ship designs up into here under ship construction. You open it up. Now, if you've got a ship design that does have an amount of units, you can't just edit it. In this case, the thing I like to do is click on roll and then just get the actual, so that the rolls are all sort of together, so all the escorts are together. You can see in this case, there's 3 heavy escorts that exist. The whole thing about the game not overriding what you're doing is this first one, the hull upgrade, and setting that from automatic to manual. So you can just manually change the ones that you want to control. So let's just say I only want to control the actual like the escorts and the frigate. Like they're the only real combat ships. You can also just go across into state ships and just get a smaller listing there as well, which can help. I'll just leave that there. But in this case, so I can just go and click on each of these. We've got 4 frigates that exist as well. But there's another way I can do this is if I go to frigate, and instead of going edit or copy as new or anything like that, if I click on upgrade and then make any sort of change, it looks to be version 2, and then just go save and exit, it will then automatically change that to manual, and so that way it won't override. So that's one thing that it then does. This is now version 2, just from doing that little upgrade. When there's no ships, I can go in and edit it, like in this sort of instance, and then go and chop and change the actual design. So I can then sort of go and tweak what the actual ship has got. So I'll just cancel that there, leaving out of that one through there. So that's sort of, it's that first one there is the key. The next thing is to make sure that your ships don't automatically upgrade. Like for example, let's just say that we do actually have the heavy escort, and we make that one manual. And in our fleets, we've got different ships, but then if these other ones start to get upgraded themselves, like if the patrol escort is still on automatic and it gets upgraded, there's a high chance that that any of the escorts will then will change from heavy escorts to patrol escorts, as an example. So they'll go to whatever the most recent one is, and you don't want that as well. So the secondary element, and I'm going through this one pretty fast, is to go to your military tab, go to your ship, your fleet templates back in through here, and let's just say it's defense fleets that we're looking at. So if we just go and edit this, I'll just go and add in an escort. So they've got the escorts in through here. What you want to be doing here is if you want specific types of ships, like I can sort of add in, say maybe sort of like four ships, I would then just go and select, I only want heavy escort hulls. So I would then just say, okay, latest design, but only for the heavy escort hull. If it goes latest design for the largest hull for the role, it will then just choose essentially the latest design, but still keep it in a fairly large hull. But the patrol and the heavy escort, I think, are the same size hull. So in this case, you just need to be more specific to have the ships not upgrade automatically. But the way around that also is just to make sure that back in the designer that you do actually have all of your escorts set to manual, and that way you're in control. Even if you're not going to build the other two, by setting it to manual, it's just not going to keep on updating, and it will just stay back where it was. So that's actually where that one is in through there. The next one is the retrofit for the fleets. So click here to toggle where the ships or bases of this design are automatically retrofitted when newer designs are available. You sort of want to keep that one on automatic, but you can control that as well. Anyway, that's the very, very quick. Can you only have one design per hull type? No, you I mean, sort of. Hang on, how does it work? The way you can only do that once. So if we go into like if you have a heavy escort and patrol, you can only have these sort of smaller hulls. The way it sort of does work. If I go, I can't add a new heavy escort. If I go and add in a new heavy escort, where's the heavy escorts? If I just go that way, oh, there's heavy escort there. Auto generate. I'll just call this one test or something like that. I don't think you can. I think there's a way around it, but I can't remember exactly what that is. Oh yeah, sorry, you can. Yeah, so this is another heavy. So we've now got two designs of the heavy escort. So we can actually have multiple. In this case, if we've got two heavy escorts, so yeah, sorry, you can actually have multiple of the same hull type, same hull designation. And when it's like this and you're wanting to actually have a mixture of different things, let's just say I go back to my fleets again. I can then go back to my fleets, back in through here. Let's go to the defense fleet, for example, just go to edit. And so this one's got the latest design for the hull heavy escort. I can say keep it the Constantia 2, which was one of the heavy escorts. So manually do it that way, and then add an item where we maybe have two of the test one that we just created. So you can manage it that way as well. So that's sort of like, so there's a lot more, it's a lot more open than it used to be. So anyway, that's sort of how that one does work. Anyway, I'm not going to spend too much time with Distant Worlds. We're going to be covering this in a lot of detail in coming weeks. So let's just quit out of that one, exit to desktop there, and go back. Hope that helped anyway. But yes, there is, you can, they added so you could actually have multiple roles because people were looking for that one through there. All right, so hi Brian, how you going? Saying hello Daz, great to see you. My problem is I play a lot of games at a surface level because I'm endlessly curious, but I need to focus and learn one good game deeply and well. I think we all suffer from that, to be honest. I know I do. It's sort of one of those things where I should I just ditch that one? We don't need that one anymore. But I notice that I do tend to do the same sort of thing, whereas I pick and choose which games I'm going to be really investing time into. And so for me, it's like Age of Wonders, Distant Worlds, Galactic Civilizations, games like that, which I really do enjoy. So anyway, that's sort of. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's sort of one of those, and then I try to find a games that I can pick up very, very quickly and just have fun for like 15, 20 minutes. So it's pretty cool. Now where do we go? So we've got. I was saying it's not the designing of the ships that is difficult. It's the entire templating thing, which is obtuse. It is obtuse, but once you get the handle on how you control those fleets, it's very, very powerful, extremely powerful. So Mike's saying, sorry, you're not sure if to reply to someone in particular. Yes, it's one of the AI choices. You can choose torpedoes. Yeah, so there is a you can choose what to focus on as well, but I won't go into that. That's in the policies. There's so many different areas that can impact what does happen, or you just let the AI look after it. So it's the AI will do a good job, but just not it may not be the nuanced job that you're looking for. Hi Sorbacol, how are you going? And hi Louise. Right. Original intent. So I mentioned X4 Foundations last time. It's an easy game to dismiss when you get into it. 50 hours, hugely replayable, and unmatched depth. Yeah, that's cool. Actually, another one that we keep an eye on is going to be Xenonauts. Xenonauts 2 has got their probably the biggest of the releases coming up this month as well. So that's another one we'll put on the radar. There's two games that I really want to cover later in the month will be Xenonauts 2. Sorry, I saw the X4 and thought, yeah, X2 as well. I do want to actually talk about that one because that does have Milestone 5 coming, and that will then sort of complete the game in terms of story, and then they'll just continue sort of doing other things from there. So Xenonauts 2 is this month. There's going to be a big one. There's a lot of stuff coming this month, a hell of a lot. So with the Distant Worlds coming, Xenonauts 2 coming as well. So they're just two of them. Right, now we spoke a little bit about one thing I did want to talk about before we get into Age of Wonders, and I do want this to be mainly an Age of Wonders stream. We'll talk briefly about Gladius because there's been an announcement. Gladius is one of my favourite games. I absolutely love it. So it's no longer... well, it's a bit cheap for some of these things, but that's not going to sort of help all that much. Now, where's the announcement? Yeah, here we go. So this is it here. So to celebrate Warhammer Day, we're really excited to share some really important news about Warhammer 40,000 Gladius. As part of the celebration, all our Warhammer games have joined a special sale. Well, that sale's now over. But this is the Ultima Founding DLC. So the Primaris Space Marines will be joining the Battle of Gladius Prime on December the 10th, so a couple of months away. So they're building, it's featuring 8 new units. The Primaris are ready to step into battle for the God Emperor and the Holy Throne. So we're going to have an Intercessor, Aggressors, Hellblasters. This will be pretty cool, actually. So I'm looking forward to that one. So this is going to be a different type of Space Marine faction. The interesting thing about this is it will actually introduce a new set of models, which can then be mixed and matched with the existing Space Marines to, I think, create some much more interesting DLC. Some not DLC, some interesting mods. So I'm quite interested to see what actually does happen with that one. But anyway, that's coming December 10th. I'm really happy to see that Gladius keeps on developing because it's really quite cool. Of course, we're waiting also on the release of the other game, which has escaped my mind, and it's no longer on my little list because it did get revoked. God, what is it? Zephon is also coming fairly soon. So Zephon is also built by the same people. But I'm actually happy that they're still pushing out Gladius content, which is great. So Lewis is saying, Dad's any plans to make a tutorial series about Field of Glory Kingdoms? Yeah, it's one of these games. I did a live stream on the Slytherin channel over the weekend, and they're going to be releasing that on their channel. And that was a fairly deep dive into just the starting of a game. And there will be more content coming in conjunction with Slytherin. As far as an actual tutorial series, I would like to do that. The thing is, I consider myself to be medium in terms of my knowledge of the game. I don't consider myself an expert. I always find new things that I didn't know. Like there's always more layers to Kingdoms than I really do understand. Like there's so much that interweaves, like with all the different mechanics. And this is one of the things that Agiod, the developers, are so good at is actually finding systems that actually work very, very well together to sort of abstract systems that really do reflect the reality of situations. And so like there's all sorts of little things that affect other things in Kingdoms, and it doesn't show you much about that one. So it's that's something that with Kingdom that really is it's an incredible game. Like it's just and it seems so. It's superficially it seems so simple, but when you really start looking into it, there's so many layers of depth. It's a very, very deep game, and I do want to do more content on Kingdoms, but I will definitely be doing. There's a whole lot of stuff being put out by Slytherin at the moment. They're also putting together a whole series of little 2-minute videos, which are really interesting about history and with Kingdoms in mind. So anyway, look out for their videos as well. Thor is saying, wait, Xenonauts 2 is 1.0. No, I better buy it before the discount is removed. No, it's not going to be 1.0. It's just milestone 5, but it's the big milestone. It's a big one. So I was going to play it actually this week on my Twitch channel, but then when I looked at and saw that that they were set to release milestone 5, I thought, look, I'm better off just waiting until that releases and then play it. Clancy's saying, hey Daz, I bought Jagged Alliance 3 because of your video on it and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Just wanted to say thanks. Yeah, no, it's a great game, that one as well. That's also had recent updates as well. Sorbical saying, yep, to Thor. I think Milestone 5, not 1.0. Yeah, Milestone 5 is one that they are really, if we have a bit of a look at that one maybe. We'll go to Xenonauts, and once we do this, we'll go back to... we'll go back to the Age of Wonders and go through that in a bit more depth as well. So so Xenonauts 2 still part of the Hooded Horse sale in through here. So it's if we go back to the announcements, we spoke about this year. Breaking news. This one was just released at the end of last week. With September is over, once again, time for our monthly Xenonauts 2 development update. Here's a quick rundown of the things we've been busy with this month. So Milestone 5, though, we continue to release hot fixes for Milestone 4 this month. Our focus has been Milestone 5. If all goes well, we should hopefully have an early prototype of this update ready for testers later this month. Okay, so looks like it's going to be maybe even longer before we get something that's a bit more stable. Milestone 5 is taking a long time because we're making quite a few changes. Aside from the phase system mentioned in the last update, we're also going to be testing strategic operation system that give the player more control over the geoscape and open up a greater number of strategic gameplay options. I love that they're doing this extra stuff. Like, it really is great. Essentially, the player gets a certain amount of operation points each day that can be spent on one-off missions to provide benefits. Example, lowering panic in a region, gaining an immediate cash injection, or can be used to recruit supporters in geoscape regions who provide passive bonuses. Example, increased monthly funding, reduced research, engineering times, etc. If you recruit all the supporters in a region, you can also gain a powerful region bonus for your organisation. So that's actually really that was not part of the roadmap that I can remember. So they're adding stuff in as they go. A goal for this system is to add a bit more strategic depth to the geoscape and provide players a way to reduce panic in regions where they do not have aircraft or radar coverage. Choosing which types of supporter and or region bonuses players want to pursue should hopefully provide players some interesting strategic choices. We're looking forward to seeing what people think when they get to play it. So there's that bit of it. New missions, terrain tiles, so it's intended to include the complete sequence of story missions. So there's this complete story, allowing players to play the entire campaign from start to finish. We've therefore been working on the final mission, creating some unique terrain tiles to reflect the setting which takes place. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Other updates. So where are we going to go? In tactical combat, we added new support for alien weapons, capable of spawning clouds of poison gas and impact. There's lots of stuff coming. So that's going to be really exciting when Milestone 5 does release. That's going to be, I think a lot of people are waiting for that one. So that's going to be very, very cool. All right, let's leave all that behind us now. And so Milestone 5 was mainly going to be completing the story. And that will mean new aliens, new ships. They've already introduced like cruisers and things like that into the game in Milestone 4. Milestone 4 added a lot of stuff, but Milestone 5 is going to be fairly exceptional, actually. I'm looking forward to that. I think it'll take a bit of time to balance it properly, but certainly be wanting to play that one early on. All right, let's get back into it. We have Age of Wonders 4. So let's go through the announcements for Age of Wonders 4 and just quickly sort of go through essentially what's happening with the way it works. It's sort of interesting, maybe we'll just do a bit of a deviation back to the transition from Age of Wonders 3 to Planetfall and then into Age of Wonders 4. I think it's it's sort of important to know where things came from and what was established and where we end up today. And so Age of Wonders 3, and I think it now is controlled by Paradox, but Age of Wonders 3 was developed and published by Triumph Studios, so they did both roles back in the day. I think they've now sold the rights of that across to Paradox as well. So Paradox, I think, is now in control of the actual sale of Age of Wonders 3. But Age of Wonders 3 was developed purely under the Triumph banner, and then what they decided to do was, of course, the next sort of logical step was to build an Age of Wonders 4 after they'd finished Age of Wonders 3. And they had like 4 DLC, I think, for Age of Wonders 3, I think, 4 or 5, so just a handful of them. And so what actually ended up happening was then they went into discussion with Paradox, and there was a massive amount of backlash and fear about the fact that they thought that it would mean that when Age of Wonders 4, because Triumph essentially became one of the studios of Paradox, and at that time, this is a few years ago now, but at that time there was a lot of concern that it was going to completely change the Triumph, that they'd sold off their IP, and that Paradox was then going to sort of run it into a DLC factory, basically, which is what, like a lot what we see with a lot of the Paradox games, like where they really just sort of push like so much DLC out for a game, like so they really sort of milk the the people who are interested in the game. Now, like whether people like it or don't like it, one of the things that we sort of find when we play strategy games is we're playing niche games, so there's not a big market for them in comparison to like first-person shooters and things like this, and so Paradox have found a model that actually is sustainable and profitable, and that is the DLC model for games that are popular. So when a game does sort of show that it's got popularity, they will then start to to sort of milk it. And you from a business side of things, why not? That sort of works. But it also then means that if you're interested in a game and you don't keep up with the DLC, you end up falling so far behind in the DLC that you then lose contact with the game, if you know what I mean. So unless you're just happy to play it with limited DLC, but I know me personally, if I know there's DLC out for a game, I want that DLC to be part of the game I'm playing. That's just the way I'm sort of wired, I guess. So I like to have the full experience. I don't want to just have like a cut down experience. So in that sort of sense, we end up with a situation where when Triumph Studios, and people loved Triumph Studios. Triumph Studios was one of those games, was one of those studios where the games that they built, like the Age of Wonders games, weren't that popular. They didn't sell that well. They sold enough for Triumph Studios to keep on sort of just, to keep on operating essentially, but they weren't highly profitable. And so from Triumph Studios' side of things, they wanted to protect their IP for themselves, which is what they've been able to do. And so they had to explain to people, we're not selling the IP. We're as a studio, we're working under the management of Paradox. And so when they actually went across to Paradox, they went in with very, very strict limitations that Paradox agreed to. And one of those limitations was that when they developed Planetfall was only going to be 4 DLCs, and that was why we only have 4 DLCs for Planetfall. The interesting thing with that is when it first started with Planetfall going and being developed under being published by Paradox, the fear really was again with the DLC. So they had to be very explicit. We're only going to make 4 DLCs, and that's it. And so when Planetfall was then sort of developed, that's exactly what they did do. So they kept to their goal. But by the end of the Planetfall development, there was actually another whole big thing with where like any of us who were playing it wanted more DLC. So we actually were thinking, break your word and build another one, like add more things to it, because every time they added content into Planetfall, it was really, really good content. So it was always fun to play. And so in this sort of sense, we ended up with a where they did stick to their word and only had the 4. So that's all that sort of came through. With the, just trying to get my timing right with the way things sort of did work. what we didn't know was that Planetfall, they had all these different ideas of how they wanted to build Age of Wonders 4, but they weren't exactly sure how things were going to work. And so what they did was they built Planetfall so they could test the areas, or test the different things, like, for example, the region, stuff like this, and then they were going to then go and build Planetfall. Sorry, build Age of Wonders 4 after Planetfall. And that's why Planetfall is a great game. Like, it's a really fun game to play, but it's the skunk works for Age of Wonders 4 for them to test all sorts of different things, and they wanted to test all sorts of stuff. So when they then came to build Age of Wonders 4, and that was sort of announced and was going to be released, there was no commitment about DLC. And I actually asked them about this because I wanted to find out, and my questions were ignored, so that I never got an answer as to, is there a limit to the DLC? Because I thought that would be a concern to the players. If there was sort of like if DLC was going to be bloated. And so what ended up happening was we ended up with a like DLCs being released every 3 months, which is actually very, very quick. But the DLCs were exceptional for Age of Wonders 4. And so we end up in a position now where the initial commitment of DLCs has now run its course. And so that was called the what did they call it? The expansion pack? No, not the expansion pack. What is it called? If you have a look at it, it's in through here. Expansion pass. So the expansion pass covered the initial DLC. And so the initial DLC, when we have a look at it back in through here, hang on, what's going on there? Sorry, I hovered over someone. We've got the different DLC that did actually come through. We've got Dragon Dawn, Eldritch Realms, Empire and Ashes, and then we've got Primal Fury. So that was the first expansion pass. Then, just like a month ago or a couple of weeks ago, they've actually now released the second expansion pass. So this is expansion pass 2. And so when we have a look at, when we go back further down, actually, where is it? It should show up somewhere in through here. I'll just go see all. Yeah, these are things that will be coming. So these are coming in expansion pass 2. So expansion pass 2 is another, actually Age of Wonders expansion pass 2 was released on the 2nd of October. And so what this is, instead of people getting concerned about missing out on DLC, like if you because there is now going to be a whole lot more DLC, they're going to be doubling the amount of DLC for game, like with their plan for it, which we're going to be talking about with each of these. But the way that they're going to be handling it is you can buy them individually. So you can buy, just if you only want to have Ways of War and, for example, the Herald of Glory or whatever it might be, you can just buy them if you're wanting to, or you can buy the expansion pass 2, and get the whole kit. And I think that's a really good way to handle DLC like this, because what it does do is, if you're like me and you don't want to miss out on any of it, then the expansion pass is the way to do it. If you are just wanting to pick and choose, the DLC you want, you can go and do that as well. So it's and I've got to say, the actual DLC that they've released for Age of Wonders has just been incredible value, I think, in my opinion anyway. All of these have been fantastic. Every single one of them, with the amount of content that's been released in them, has been great. So with this new plan, I'm actually really excited for it. One thing I did do, because I was thinking, I wonder if there's going to be kickback, because it definitely was when Planetfall went from Triumph doing the publishing to Paradox doing the publishing. And at that time, you could tell that Planetfall was really, really just developed purely by Triumph. So we're sort of looking at of course, the previous game there. Whereas you can really see that there's been a very, very strong collaboration between Triumph and Paradox in the development of Age of Wonders 4, which again makes the game better. So it's really, really quite cool. So I'll read a few of your comments after I just do this bit of a spiel here, but I'm nearly finished, I think. But what it does, one thing I was interested in is, what do people think of this? And sure enough, if I go to discussions, because I was thinking, I wonder if that's a problem. And there was, I saw something in here. Where is Mab? Where is Mab? Okay, so we've got there's a lot. I just saw something where about this one. I'm glad to pay more for DLC if the AI was made a priority. I'm not sure if this is it. Yeah, anyway, what I noticed was that previously with Planetfall, there was a lot more people commenting about the fear of having DLC bloat, whereas in the when we come across into Age of Wonders 4, we're actually now seeing people actually wanting more content. And so the vast majority of people commenting are actually wanting the DLC, whereas in Planetfall, the vast majority in the early days were actually not wanting DLC. So it's quite an interesting shift. So which is actually quite heartening, because I was a bit worried when I saw all the DLC that was then being planned coming up in this next group. I was wondering if that was going to be a negative for people, like, you know, as in it was going to sort of turn them off the game. But it looks like generally it's actually been positively accepted. From my side of things, I'm happy to see these different DLCs coming in, because they really do add a lot. There's going to be a lot of different things. You know, you can see Ways of War, first look dev stream tomorrow on October the 3rd, so that's only just come out. That's very interesting to see what they're actually doing with the game itself. So anyway, that was the first thing. I might just read a few of the comments and just see what you guys think. Yeah, John Longshore is saying Arrow History Untold is now my obsession. Amazing in depth games, some issues, but they are working on it. Okay, I haven't contacted them. I just have been pushing that one off. So because saying, Daz, with the announcement of the second expansion pass, I was expecting a fairly hefty discount on the first Age of Wonders expansion pass. Feels like a missed opportunity. They haven't done this yet. Yeah, I don't know. Again, it'll be a marketing reason. And look, I've got to say that Paradox's marketing is pretty exceptional. They don't make very many mistakes. I can tell you that. They tend to know the best way to get the most amount of money for what they're doing, and still, you know, give good value in my opinion. You know, for people who, as I say, it's a niche market typically for these sorts of games. It's not like a broad market, and so they have to find ways to make it profitable for them, but still, you know, enjoyable for the players. Yeah, for bringing in new players. It's sort of one of these games. It's like, it's funny because whenever I find when I do an Age of Wonders video, it actually doesn't get anywhere near as many views as I think it will, and it's sort of funny for me because it's such a good game, and it's always surprising that Age of Wonders just is it does feel niche because of that. Like, it's like I put out a video about something else, you know, and it'll get, you know, 3 or 4 times the amount of views as what an Age of Wonders video will get. So I don't know what it is about Age of Wonders, but it's just interesting. Yeah, and look, that may come. I know that they've just released the expansion pass, but the DLCs themselves haven't really sort of hit hard until the end, like until next month. So they're still 1 month away yet. So Thor is then saying, yes, I can't get into Hearts of Iron 4 anymore. Only got the vanilla, and too much has changed. Yeah, I'm like that as well. That's one reason I don't like playing it. That's also Stellaris for me as well. Matthew's saying a new Planetfall would be nice. Yeah, it would be, but that was the Skunk Works again. That was the test area for Age of Wonders 4. So maybe they'll go back with the things that they've now learnt from Age of Wonders 4. We'll talk a little bit about what they have learnt, actually. They've learnt some interesting things. Geordie is saying all DLCs were on discount during their RPG sale alongside the base game. Now, I don't know if that's Geordie from the Age of Wonders area, but if it is, welcome. Yeah, so there's, and I think that there will be other specials coming up, I would assume, for the game. So Silvercole is saying yes, but not that much. I know that's entirely down to Triumph Paradox, but at the moment it's £40 base game, £40 expansion pass, and £40 expansion pass 2. It's £120. I don't know. Like, it's, for me, the amount of like, is it almost like an Age of Wonders 5, the way it's sort of working? The changes are dramatically good when they do bring things in. I'll talk about it again in a little bit of detail, but when we get into what's actually happened with what they've changed in this expansion pass 2, actually with what will be coming. Tiger Russ is saying games are just becoming far too expensive now. They certainly have become more expensive, but on the other hand, we're seeing a lot of development companies going out of business, and that's also not good. So it's sort of it's a hard balancing act. Particularly, I think everywhere in the world, people are actually, the cost of living is becoming quite difficult. So getting that balance right is difficult. Clancy is saying DLC releases are how I just decided what to play. I came back to a favourite when a new DLC comes out. Helps me with my indecision. There we go. Matthew's saying I don't buy many new PC games at all. I'm not a fan of many modern games. That makes it easier to buy for new releases like Age of Wonders. Yes, yeah. I think Age of Wonders for me is my favourite series of games of all time. Ever since for 24 years now, it's been my favourite series. I've absolutely loved it, and Age of Wonders 4 is for me the absolute pinnacle of all of those games. I have an immense amount of fun with it, particularly with the recent changes as well. Silver was saying Age of Wonders 4 is a great game, but I do feel the DLC is expensive for what it is. Really, that's where I'm. When I look at the comments on Steam, and Steam is usually very scathing in the comments, people are actually, they'll, because of what's introduced, it's not just fluff that gets introduced in the DLCs. I think they're pretty major changes, with what actually does happen there. So. So take Tiger Russ is saying take Hearts of Iron. It's now over £200 for game and DLCs. No wonder peeps wait for discounts. Yeah, that's fair enough as well. I think the more DLCs you get, you do start to then look for the discounts when they do actually come. And Paradox does actually do fairly not major. You don't often see 90% off for the core game type things, but you do get specials fairly regularly. John Longshore is saying DLC is fine, though I think the remarkable stuff is provided by modders. Not in Age of Wonders 4, in my opinion. I think that Age of Wonders 4 is the first Age of Wonders game. Actually, Planetfall really was the first one, but Age of Wonders 4 it's since Age of Wonders 2. Age of Wonders 2 I couldn't play without heaps of mods on it. Age of Wonders 3 I couldn't play without heaps of mods on it. I hated Age of Wonders 3 without the mods. In fact, I stopped playing it for a while because when the Halflings came in. That's why I hate Halflings so much, is because of Age of Wonders 3, until modders actually fixed it. But in Age of Wonders 4, I don't need mods to enjoy the game. And in fact, I don't really have any mods installed that I find enhance the game. The DLCs do all the actual heavy lifting for me. So that is, for me, that's sort of where things actually really are. It's just very, very cool. Okay, so Matthew's saying discounts are worth the wait. So drizzle. Thor is then saying, has anyone bought into Paradox's subscription? Lots of savings if you're really into all Paradox games. So that's again where I think if you think of us as niche players, as in we've strategy game players, really are a niche market. It's there's not a lot of us, and but we're pretty passionate about what we do. And so when there are things like expansion passes, I think expansion passes are a good way of packaging up the DLC. What it does do from a marketing side, it does give you a cheaper way to actually grab the games, but also to then help fund the development of them as well. So I like the idea of expansion passes where DLC is bundled together. It means that we end up with a lot of content in DLCs, and then having the option of buying individual DLCs for me actually sort of works in fairly well. So for me, I really quite like this model, and I'm really actually glad that we don't have the constraints that we had in Planetfall of only the 4 DLCs and no more. And I'd love to know what the discussions were around how the DLCs were going to be planned for Age of Wonders 4. It'd be very, very interesting. Because I know that when they first went across with Paradox, it was the biggest concern that Triumph actually had, or that they communicated anyway, back, I don't know how many years ago it was, but I do remember reading about it, just how adamant they were that they were going to be in full control of the direction of where their games were going to go, and that was heartening, I've got to say. Okay, so where do we get up to? Sorry guys, I've missed a bit there, I think. Togaros is saying too many DLCs to make subscription worthwhile. yeah, that's another thing too. If you've already opted into so many different things, there's no area to catch up easily, is there? And there should be. So Geordie's saying to Sorbicol, during the sale, the base game was discounted 35%, which is the lowest yet. ER was 15% and the others 20% off. Indeed, there were no sales on other platforms. Yeah, so I think that again, the sale they do come on sale every so often. You're not going to get like the 60% off, I guess, with these sort of games. But again, you don't often see that with very many strategy games. Like they've really got to be. They've got to be absolute smash hits to to warrant the big discounts, I think, to get more people involved. I was saying need to go as I have late work meetings tonight. Have fun all. Yeah, thanks for that, Sorbicol. And Drexy or X101 is saying about 5 or so years ago, Paradox said they won't have sales more than 50% for DLC. Yeah, I can sort of see that one. And Tigeros is saying, how's Field of Glory Kingdoms faring? Notice 104 is about to fall. I'm not sure how it's going with sales. But anyway, let's keep on going with Age of Wonders, because I had a look at the first dev stream for the Ways of War, and I was blown away not just by what the DLC brings in, which was interesting, but they've re-looked at the whole of Age of Wonders 4, and it's sort of I can't wait to get my hands on it, because they've changed the user experience, and you don't see this with strategy games where developers go back and really just redo user experience in games, and like it's incredible that just the simple changes that they're making in the base game. I don't know if I can let's have a look and see if we can see it there. Yeah, that was the expansion pass. That was a live stream. I'll see if I can find some snapshots of it. But that was, for me, and this is just going to be base game stuff, and everyone will actually have this one. Maybe I'll just skim past this. I mean, it's sort of, there's a lot to cover, which I will cover probably in actual dedicated videos and things. So they've got like a lot of stuff, but it's just the stuff that they didn't. It's the little things that they're doing in the game that I find really, really cool. Like the random realms, random factions, just the little stuff that they're doing with user experience in mind is amazing. Now we've got the Oathsworn is sort of like a new class essentially. So this is the new culture. They're an order affinity culture that we give it. So this is sort of more Eastern inspired. I did want to show. I was hoping to show the user experience side of things, which is very, very cool. Yeah, I can't sort of see it there. So Tigeros is saying, "Oops, not me. I never get I never did get Age of Wonders 4." You sort of like, in my opinion, like it's got the best tactical battle system of any game ever. The way it sort of does work. That was actually one of the things they mentioned as well, like in Planetfall. And again, I always think of it in terms of Age of Wonders 3 was built a certain way. Age of Wonders 2 was built a certain way. Age of Wonders 3 had to change the whole system of the way that good, evil, and neutral sort of worked, which I was dead against at the time. But it did open the game up more to actually have in Age of Wonders 3. And so they had their own sort of combat system. They sort of tweaked things a little bit in that one. Then they went to Planetfall, and everyone pretty much sort of thought that Planetfall was the better system. Certainly it was a bit more confusing to do with ranged attacks, and they sort of had to do that with Planetfall. But one of the things, I didn't even realise it, but the damage to hit points ratio, which I had never thought of before, in Planetfall was actually fairly narrow, and so units wouldn't last very long. But what they did in Age of Wonders 4, and again, Age of Wonders 4 just feels so much better than Planetfall, and one of the reasons for that is just this almost like a subconscious thing where it takes more than just a few hits to kill off a unit. It actually now it takes some substantial work to actually kill any of the units, and it makes the game more strategic. It makes it actually more forgiving as well. So if you make a mistake, you can sometimes weasel your way back out of it. But it is really quite, it's quite cool, the whole progression, which I hadn't really been aware of with the changes between Planetfall and Age of Wonders 4. But I found that really interesting. And also, as I said before, just the little user experience things that have been added into Age of Wonders 4 along the way have been really exceptional as well. And with the new updates that will be coming at the time of this first DLC, everyone will get hold of those changes, and they're going to be really quite cool. But let's have a look at Ways of War, which, and as I say, I'll probably end up looking at doing a much deeper dive when it releases next month. So I'll skim over a lot of this stuff, and then we'll have a much deeper dive. But I did really want to cover the progression of the game, and also that we are now at this big bump in the road where the original DLC is now behind us, and we've now got a new path ahead. And I did want to cover expansion passes versus getting individual DLCs, etc., and also the fact that that Triumph has his sort of is moving in more of the paradox direction now as well. And I know that some people won't like that, other people will. I think they're doing it very well with this expansion pass idea. But anyway, I thought just from a political side of things, that's an interesting aspect about the history of the different companies as well. Okay, so where do we get up to with the comments? Tiger says, I do have Age of Wonders 3. And Matthew saying, time to upgrade. Yes, Age of Wonders 4 is so much better. Lewis is saying, the problem for me is the performance. I don't have a good rig. Now, I've got another person who often actually is in here in the chat called Chris, who also often watches the Twitch streams. He actually recently bought Age of Wonders 4 on a very slow system that he actually had, and he's actually finding it fine. So that was something that, like from his perspective, it runs well enough for him to enjoy it on an older computer. I'm not recommending that be the case, but that is some feedback that I've had, that it's actually been, he put off getting it because of his system, and in the end he thought, nah, look, it's too good a game, and he's found it fine. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Tiger Russ says, it also, look, it's not a very intense, look, from what I can sort of see, it looks beautiful, but it's not as if there's lots and lots of stuff happening all the time. So I think it's not as hard on your system as it might appear. It's not like a real-time game. Okay, Tiger Russ is saying, possibly I'm having no purchase stop. We need to play the games I already have now a bit. Yep. So okay. So Tiger Russ is saying, I noticed Ara is having a heavy load on my PC. Yeah. Look, different games are done differently. Really. I haven't found, like, I always worry when I hear my fans starting to sort of whir away on my computer. My computer is sort of a bit above medium, I guess. But I always worry about games where the fans go a bit crazy. I don't have ARA, so I can't really comment on that one. So Mike is saying, manual battles in Age of Wonders 4 are fun early mid-game. A late game is auto battles for me every time. It takes too much time. See, I enjoy the battles. Like I enjoy spending up to an hour playing a battle. So the late games for me are quite engaging because, as I say, one little mistake and one little tip is quick save during your battles, because you can actually go back and open and load a quick save halfway through a battle if you get to a point that you are happy with, but then make mistakes after it. You can sort of quick save your way through a little bit with the actual battles, rather than just having to start from the start. Yep, so Thor is saying, so I agree, the early to mid game is so much better than the stacks of Doom gameplay in the end game. See, again, I think that I thought it was pretty genius of actually only having 3 stacks allowable to actually fight in a combat, which means that you've only got like 18 units maximum that can enter into a battle, which is sort of manageable, whereas back in the old Age of Wonders 2 days, it was as many as you could squeeze in around a group. Like you would have monstrously big armies. So so I find it much better to play much faster to play than the older games. Also, the scale of the battles are now, it's a tighter battlefield than what it used to be as well. So when I think back to Age of Wonders 2, and then into Age of Wonders 3, and now into Age of Wonders 4, the battle sizes have come down, like the actual, and the number of participants has come down, but the strategic element has still stayed very, very high. So yeah, for me that works. I've liked the changes that they've brought in. I would not like to see it down to just a single group of like one stack versus one stack. That would be, for me, I really like the balance of having the 3 and also the range of 4 hexes, that they can choose from. Choose the strongest from the 4 that are actually in there. So where did we get to? Clancy's saying, I really like the new cultures being divided into sub-factions. I like that about Primal Fury. Yeah, there's a lot of nuance now being added into the game, which is cool. As I say, it sort of feels like new versions of the game every time you get a DLC. It doesn't feel like it's just an add-on, and like it's not just like a reskin of something. It really is completely different game mechanics, which we'll have a look at when I start to go through this dev stream. The dev stream was extremely good, I've got to say, like just to sort of see. And as I say, the biggest takeaway I got from was just the attention to detail with the user experience was very, very impressive. Aris needs more optimizing, says Tiger. More I play it, the more it annoys me. Screen bloat. Billy Dog saying, don't quick save in your battles. It fosters bad tactical behavior. Not really. Okay, this is going to be one of these things where I've always liked save scumming. I think it's the fastest way to learn a game is to save scum your way into the game, and you end up getting to a point where my control, like when I play any Age of Wonders game, I have almost like a reflex action of Control S to do quick saves all the time. I've always done it, like particularly with Age of Wonders 3, with it needing to be so heavily modded, it became very unstable, and so I was always Control S'ing all the time, and I'm still in that habit, unfortunately, to sort of do it. But I think that the fact that even with Age of Wonders, where you can replay the battles, it sort of is inviting you to the devs know that it's not an easy game to play tactically, but it's a rewarding game to play tactically. So if you make mistakes, it can be very, very beneficial just for learning the game to just keep on replaying parts of a battle, and it's sort of I find it really interesting. And I've done that ever since Age of Wonders 2. Like I've just played and replayed battles to see the best way of positioning units, things like that. And with the whole tactical system of Age of Wonders being so unforgiving, it is one of those things where if you one of the barriers to getting into these games is the complexity of these sorts of tactical battles, because it's scary to be going into a battle that. If you make a mistake, it can be absolutely devastating. But if you know that, I can just go back and replay this, I can rewind and just go back from there and just keep on going. I think that's very, very positive. So for me, even though you're saying it fosters bad tactical behaviour, I think you learn what to do. Like for example, yesterday I was streaming it on Twitch. And I did save scum a particular battle because had like a dragon lord that I was playing as. I was playing with halflings as my actual faction. I've never played halflings in Age of Wonders 3, but they're not bad in Age of Wonders 4. But I had the dragon, and I knew I was putting the dragon into a dangerous position by moving it into an area where it could be flanked by the enemy with some powerful units. And so I explained that at the time, saying, I don't know if this is going to work or not. And it didn't work. Like the dragon was killed pretty quickly. I could have made some changes, like just little things. Like I could have put a spell on the dragon, which would have actually made it like almost worthwhile, putting it into that position. But I didn't. I didn't do that particular spell. It's just there's so many little things in the game that just one decision of one unit, even just moving it one hex too far or not far enough, can massively change the outcome of a battle. And that's why replaying it, you do learn so much so quickly by doing that with Age of Wonders. So I can't think of another game where that is such a big factor. For me, I highly, highly recommend that players, particularly new players, replay the battles, even ones that you win. Replay them and just see, can you get through with less damage or whatever it might actually be. And as was mentioned before, the early game and the mid game where the battles aren't that big are good learning battles as well, because you then do have much more limited forces to then go engage. But by the time you're getting into the tier 3, tier 4, tier 5 type sort of creatures coming in and fighting, they're going to have nuanced ways of actually fighting, which you then have to overcome as well in your strategic thinking. So for me, it's actually the puzzle aspect of Age of Wonders is just brilliant. I just absolutely love it. Every time I open up Age of Wonders, I'm blown away by the genius of the game. Like it really is one of those sort of games. It's just phenomenal. And it's funny actually, and seeing. I will sort of say, like, I had a little tingle up my spine when I was watching the dev stream the other day, just with what's coming. It really is exceptional. So as I say, I love this game. Absolutely love it. Now Geeky Gamer is saying Bist Twitch ordered Tinder. I'm not sure what that means. Hope you're not selling selling views, because I have to ban people who sell views. Anyway, we'll continue on. So the Ways of War will be coming in, and I'll skim over this now because I'll be doing a deep dive once I actually get hold of the DLC. I should be getting it a little bit early, usually just a couple of days is usually what I sort of get it. So I'll do what I can to show what I can show at the time. So the Oathsworn Order Affinity, which is interesting. So this is actually much more I guess Eastern in its approach, where it sort of is more monks. Like monks is one of the things that do come through. The main mechanic is a devotion system, which tracks their actions and measures them against their oath. The higher their devotion to the oath, the stronger their units become, and the happier their cities are. So that's going to be interesting to sort of see. And you've got like harmony, righteousness, and strife as the actual oath systems at the start when you actually sort of do use the oath sworn. So each oath has a preferred playstyle. They have preferred actions. So again, it's almost like getting 3 different cultures, in the DLC, that when taken increase the devotion level and prohibited actions that lower the devotion of the oath when acted. For strife, for example, gains devotion by making wars and proving themselves in combat, but losing devotion if they make peace or enter diplomatic treaties. It's interesting, actually, just the nuances that will then come into this one. At the start of the game, the Oathsworn are neutral to their oath, yet to prove themselves, but as they follow it, they can become adherent, then devotees. At the pinnacle, they become paragons of the oath. There we are. Different things in through there. There's also the Oath Breaker state, which means your devotion is low enough to break your oath, back and through this other side. And then we've got Harmony. I won't go through all of these, but there's these sort of will make sort of more sense. It's more of a peaceful way of sort of operating. Righteousness, a straightforward oath that cares about doing right and what's doing right and good. So they gain devotion equal to their alignment value. So being good is important. That's going to be interesting, because I always play evil because it's the fastest way to get through. I find to get through the game. So when I'm streaming it, I find that going evil is just the most expedient path to victory. Strife is all about war, and so strife would be a good one for me. The oath encourages war, winning a combat, especially if you're the underdog. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. That's going to work in very, very well with some of the other aspects of the game, I think. We've got the warrior's soul triggers when the enemy is overwhelming them, giving them a strife. Yeah, okay, that's going to be fine. So we've got things. We've got this one through here. This is a sworn guard. Start with 2 melee units. The first being the sworn guard, a polearm unit, which defend your backline units while applying sunder defense with its attacks. And just a fighter by the looks of things. Yeah, the honor blade, a fighter that has extra defensive stats. So that's interesting. But so it doesn't have. It's not a shield unit. Okay, it's actually got pretty weak defense. Looking at that one through there, it's only tier 1. Extra defensive stats, but it has more costly drafting cost for its tier. Defensive strike. Okay, defensive strike is the specific one. This one in through here, high damage with what it does do, and then goes into defensive mode. But it's not a shield unit. Valkeeper. I won't go through each of these. We'll have a look at those when I've actually got the DLC to be able to then go and show. It's interesting sort of seeing the Eastern costumes now starting to come through as well. Yeah, so it's great. I'll tell you what though, the one thing I'm really looking forward to is not this expansion pack. It's sort of funny because all the way along, I've always had what I think is going to be my favourite one, and my favourite one that I think I'm going to like the most is, if I just go back to the actual page. Oh yeah, where are we? List of DLCs. I think it's going to be Giant Kings. I think that's going to be either that one or the Archons. I don't know if this is the same one as the Archons. But that's I'm looking forward to this one. That's going to be interesting to sort of see what actually does happen there. And Archons, which one's the Archons? Herald of Glory, is that the one? Oh, Archon Prophecy, sorry. This one here I'm really looking forward to. Actually, this one probably is the one I'm really looking forward to. I love the Archons in Age of Wonders 2. Absolutely love them. And I was sort of disappointed they weren't really featured in Age of Wonders 3, but here they are back again in Age of Wonders 4. So, yeah, just take command of the Force of Light in the Age of Wonders 4 Archon Prophecy expansion. Join the Celestial Archons as they strike back against Uridath's corrupt forces. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what this one's like, to see sort of how that one sort of does work. But again, every single DLC has just added so much to the actual base game. So Drexy's into the saying, over time I don't like Age of Wonders battles, as it slows the games down, especially if you're constantly replaying battles. Yeah, look, I certainly find I auto battle now, particularly when I'm streaming, more than what I normally would. I would normally play them out, just so I keep on top of tactically how to play them. Clancy's, and also for me, I find that the early battles, if I've only just woken up and I'm doing a stream, I almost need to do a few of those little early ones just to get my head into gear. But anyway, I do understand there's going to be a big divide between people who enjoy the tactical battles and those that don't. Clancy is then saying, for me, it would be too much, if not the 18-unit limit, especially in the late game when you can have more than one big battle back-to-back in the same strategic turn. Yes, that's true. And it's sort of, and those battles really, you know, it's dramatic. Also, the AI, another way to actually look at the game is to actually play the auto battle and just see what the AI did. You can actually replay the battle back because it does play the battle out. Shrimp Puff is saying, "Hey Daz, any ETA on when you'll make your old videos available again?" I've just got to get to them, and I'm pretty time poor at the moment. I've got like a lot of work on, so I'm not sure when I can commit to it. I pretty should just try to do like 100 a week or something, but I just haven't got back to it. A lot of people are asking me for those old videos, but I got hacked. It was a fair while ago now, but I got hacked and all my videos got taken off, and I've got to go through every single one of them individually. So it's unfortunately just a long process, and but I will actually, I'll try to schedule in time for me to go through and do them. I'll have to try to find a time when, like a downtime, but I really don't have much time anymore. Like it's I'm pretty much just working all the time. I even like it's 4:30 a.m. at the moment, and I've been streaming here for an hour and a half, and before that I spent an hour doing other work. So it's work I've just got to get through this week. So it's sort of hard, like at the moment. Yeah, used to love watching all of the Warlock 2 mod videos. So that's an interesting one. Like when you can compare Warlock 2 with Age of Wonders, because Warlock 2 is also a Paradox game, but that's one where the handshaking between the development team and the publishing team didn't really work that well, and we ended up with a game that had incredible potential. But in reality, it was a pretty poor game when it was actually released, and it's only through modding that it's actually been able to save that game. But Warlock 2 is incredible. Warlock 2, you only need one mod though, but you do need all the DLC, and that one mod is the Renaissance mod. Renaissance mod is almost like a Warlock 3. I really wish that they would develop a Warlock 3. Maybe you're saying the legendary Warlock 2 rage quit. Oh yeah, that was yeah, I used to do that, didn't I? I used to love the game until until something bad would happen that just made no sense whatsoever. I think that's the only game I've actually ever actually done a rage quit while I was streaming. Like, it was like, okay, not going to play this anymore. I think I stopped playing it for a couple of months as well, and then I'm not sure if it was when the Renaissance mod came out that I gave another go, because I love the idea of Warlock 2. It's such a great game in terms of what the scope of the game is, but just the actual build of it was pretty poor. Christopher, so I like the tactical battles very much. They're one of the reasons I like to play Age of Wonders Planetfall and Age of Wonders 4. Yes, look, I'm the same. So, but it is, everyone's different, I guess. Shrimp Puffer saying can't play the game without it now. Although Infernal is way too strong with the when the AI use them. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, Matthew's saying, "Lol, it was amazing." Yeah, and I remember even the scenario. I think we'd come through a portal in Warlock 2, and in the very, very early game, and it did something where it should have been a really easy establish a foothold in like a different plane of existence or something in it. And when I got there, it just got absolutely swamped by all these really powerful units, and it just didn't make any sort of sense. But as I say, the Renaissance mod fixes a lot of those sorts of issues. But God, I would love someone to go back and build a Warlock 3. I reckon that'd be fantastic. It was such a everything about the game except for the actual build of it was great. Anyway, guys, I think we're sort of running out of time. So what I might do, I might have a quick look at the other news and bits and pieces. So we'll just sort of skim our way through. Have you Matthew saying, have you played Spellforce, Daz? I bought it on the recent sale. Seems like Age of Wonders Light so far. Yes, that's a good way of describing it, actually. It's a good game. I've tried to contact the developers or the publishers to see if I can get hold of the latest DLC, because the latest DLC has got random maps, and I'm very, very interested in that. So that's something I really am looking forward to seeing. What's actually is actually in there. But I haven't heard back, so I'm not sure if I will or not. So I've got my fingers crossed. And Michael is saying, have you checked out the fantasy map generator? Part art program, part light game. But I could see you doing some really cool stuff with it, like mapping one of your Age of Wonders games. I haven't actually. I've seen it, but I haven't actually looked at it. I'll have a look at that one actually. I'll jot that one down on my little list of things to look at. I've got a few that I've still got to follow up on. Fantasy. I did see it. See, I've always just if it's been for Dominions or something like that, I've just drawn my own. Like I haven't bothered with generating one, so I haven't really had a close look at those sorts of things. Anyway, we're going to just go back into the library. We'll have a quick look at because there's a few things that have come out. As we had a look at the Primaris Space Marines that are coming in for Gladius, which would be pretty cool. We've got the Galactic Civilizations 4. I did want to have a look at this one as well. This is the new Starview update. Major updates, revamp your ship design. Okay, polished artifacts, UI enhancements. There's another one where, and again, I find that Age of Wonders always is updating their user interface, user experience, but so is Galactic Civilizations, and they've done a great job of this over the past year, really, of just enhancing the base game through the user enhancement, the user interface and the user experience. So, but it's sort of rare to find strategy games that actually do this. And as I say, I'm really excited to see the changes that are coming with the user interface in Age of Wonders as well. Streamlined Civilization policy management, back in through there. Offline access for DLC owners. Yeah, okay, so it's not really a hell of a lot that we can sort of latch onto there immediately. Terra Stars coming. Yep. Okay. Anyway, well, I'll have to do a deeper dive into Gal Civ. Xenonauts 2 we spoke about, Age of Wonders, of course. We've had a bit of a deep dive into this one as well with the Oathsworn, but we'll certainly look at that in much more depth, probably towards the end of the month, maybe after Distant Worlds 2. I've been playing Terminus. Actually, I'm really enjoying this one. It's a Korean game. It's sort of like I've got a video that I've recorded, but I haven't actually uploaded yet, so I'll try to get that up early this week. So that's actually pretty good zombie survivor sort of run, which is really quite cool. Okay, Book is saying running out of time. Done. I just started because YouTube didn't show the stream in my feed. For the past few weeks, YouTube hasn't recommended your streams despite me being subscribed and a member. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I don't know why. I don't know what they're doing with that one there. I thought I was saying Spellforce EO was great, but hated that every single unit was so important. You could lose the entire game in every single combat if you made a mistake. Well, I think Age of Wonders is a bit like that as well, to be honest. That's why I do save scum. Clancy's saying, as good as Age of Wonders 3 and Planetfall are, I can't play them now, knowing that I could be playing Age of Wonders 4 instead. I'm the same, actually. I'll never play Age of Wonders 3 again, I don't think. May play Planetfall at some point, but Age of Wonders 3 for me is now a game. I've still got it installed, but I just haven't played it. The only reason I'd sort of move that one up, I think, would be to show the mods that I use or that I was using, because I know that a lot of people still use that one. Since the Solar Empire, I'm just waiting for that to update. Then I'm going to be doing some content on that one. That's a pretty cool game. It's very, very polished. Let's have a quick skim through. Diplomacy is not an option. It's actually now hitting version 1. Yep, so they're leaving early access. That's a pretty cool game, actually. Pretty cool game. It's funny though, like once I always enjoyed playing that game until it's another Paradox game, actually. I think is it Paradox Arc, I think. Oh, I know, Hooded Horse game. It's a Hooded Horse game that I was thinking of, which is actually on special at the moment. Cataclysmo. I've just closed it right down. Damn it! I've just closed everything down. Just get back into Steam. I hope I'm still streaming. That's okay. Yeah, Cataclysmo for me is sort of like has really grabbed my attention. This one here. Yeah, this is currently on special with Hooded Horse, 35% off. But Diplomacy is not an option is also very, very cool, the way it sort of does work. Anyway, let's. I've now closed down my whole system. Let's have a quick look at some of the other things in through here. Yeah, see if there's anything else there. Breachway, I'm just making different things in through there. Yep, so Expansion Pass 2 now available, which is what we spoke about. So actually that graphic there looks pretty cool. Yeah, so we've got the, it's sort of then showing the progression for all these different things. So we've got Ways of War, Giant Kings, Archon Prophecy, sort of is what's sort of coming through at this stage. Anyway, we'll let's get into the giveaway. So the giveaway, as I said before, is Gloomhaven, which is a great giveaway. So you definitely want to be part of the running for that one through there. Just let me get everything set up. What we'll do is we'll go and open up Nightbot. And we'll log in. And is that the right one? Or is it Twitch? I'll just close out of that and just load back in again. I'll just see if that's that doesn't seem to be sort of working all that well. Yeah, this is old. These are old timeouts. Yeah, maybe it's. I'm just hoping that it's YouTube that it's actually doing. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to I'll give it a go. I'll just go back to that one there. Anyway, let's just give it a crack. So we'll just go back to giveaways. What I'll do is I'm just going to put in a keyword, and actually, oh, there we go. We've got It's the keyword that we're going to be using is going to be just Gloom. So because Gloomhaven. So if we if you guys can just type in the word Gloom into the chat, you'll then be in the running for Gloomhaven. And oh yeah, there we go. That's what we wanted. Let's see the chat in through there. I'll just get marbles set up, and the original intent saying I've never won. I would love to win today. There we go. Maybe luck will turn your way. Maybe, but usually not. So just pop the word in there. I'll just get marbles set up. But this is a game that it's got probably the complexity of the tactical battles of Age of Wonders in its own tactical battle sort of system. Drexy saying I already have it. Pass it on if I win. Okay, thanks Drexy. Yeah, if you've already got games, just still go in the running. You know, like you may have friends that want them, or anything else like that. So okay, that's fine where that is. Let's go back to where we were. Only got 14 runners so far. That's not too many. Let's let it run a little bit longer. So Foodie Dog's the last one that we've got in through there. There we go, 15. Let's leave it for a couple more seconds. I'll just get... unfortunately, this doesn't work all that well with the... with YouTube. It's mainly for Twitch. Okay, we've got 17 now. Original 10 saying, if you win and don't want it, I'm your friend. There we go. All right, so we've got 17 runners. So we'll sort of close it off there. And in we go. Okay, Control C. I'll just place them in. All right, so 17. Just quickly save that. To go back to race, go back to the settings, add names, clear that one, open, names. Okay, 17 there. That's good. Finish that one, and let me just go back out from this one here. Grand Prix. So again, we sort of, unless it's a clear mistake with the way that the Grand Prix is calculating itself, we will just have to abide by its direction. But if there is, it has happened before where there's been clearly incorrect adding up of things, and in that case, we'll figure out what to do at the time. I think I've got 17. We'll be playing with bots. All right, we need to autofill. Okay, good luck everyone. We'll get started. Play. Yeah, the mistakes tend to happen when there's like only one or two winners, like when everyone else has been eliminated from different. I do like the elimination ones, I've got to say, but but it can screw up the scoring a little bit. Here we go. Good luck, everyone. Just a few people out in front. So we've got, looks like we've got Bubicus and Barbara out in front, and we've got Eric way at the back. So let's get started and see what actually happens in here. So going into the loop, what's this one like? There's a fair bit of complexity coming up. So going around the stream. Sorbical's the first one to get into the middle there. Let's have a bit of a look and see. Yeah, Giza Zone is the first one out. Okay, followed by Silver Coal. Reed is coming in, Michael as well, but Giza Zone is coming first. I'll just grab one of the, say the third one, just follow it through the loop. So Reed has now hit the lead. Giza Zone now coming in second. Very, very close as we go through this loop. Don't know if there's going to be things that will sort of throw units off or throw the marbles off. We'll soon find out, I guess. Reed is extending his lead a little bit over Geezer Zone. We've got Michael coming through as well. Here we go. Let's just move back a little bit. So we've got Reed, Geezer Zone. Now everyone's blocked up. Okay, this is now everyone is going to get through here together. Luiz is slow. Now Eric has now hit the lead. He was right at the back. Sorbicol's now hit the back as well, and so Sorbicol's sort of miles behind. But Eric is doing well. We've got Mike on the other side moving through. Let's just follow these guys through and just see where they end up. Just keeping a bit of a look on the other side because we've got Mike as well. I might just zip out of those and just wait for people to fall off the bottom in here. So here they come. Eric's going to be the first one. Mike's probably going to be second. No, we've got Bubicus, Matthew. Eric's the first one through into here. Now, what's that laser beam going to do? Okay, Eric's made it through. Whoa! Okay, everyone else. Tiger's gone. Tiger is gone, but Eric's still okay. Bubicus is gone. Voodoo Dog's gone. Geezer Zone and Drexy are now out in the lead. Did Eric fall off? Must have fallen off. Yep, another one's gone as well. Oh no, that's just the cannon system itself. So we've got Drexy and Geezer Zone are hitting this little area, but not able to really get past it. They have to go back. Who's going to get past this little area first? This is interesting. There's Eric. Oh, there we go. Bubo is through. Geezer Zone is through, and Reed are through. Bang. Okay, Bubo won the first one. Reed came second. Third came Geezer Zone. Fourth is Drexy. Mike is fifth. If you get 10th, you get 10 points as well, by the way. So who's going to get 10th? It's going to be Luiz. Just beat Rocklight. And Sorbicol coming up towards the end. There's Michael and Original Intent, who really wanted the game badly. Still gets a point. You do get 1 point for that one. Okay, so sorry, Original Intent. You did not perform very well there at all. So let's look at the final results. What we're interested in is not so much the historic results in through here. We're looking at the Grand Prix results. So Bubo is out in front with 20. Reed is 15. Geezer 12. Drexy and Luiz 10 each. And we then sort of go down through the list with Original Intent at least getting 1 point, but Tiger Russ, Voodoo Dog and Bubicus not actually featuring in that list there at all. So there we go. Tiger Russ saying Lola fell off, yes. Now if we just go back into the next map. Dark Marble Adventure. Demand a rerun, says Tiger Russ. You can still win it. You can still win it. There's 20 points up for grabs here. So we'll get started. And what do we have here? So we've got a big long loop. Who's going to be the first one out of this one? Okay, Tiger Russ is in front. Eric is coming second again. Bubo coming through as well. Now this may throw people off. Yep, there we go. See you later, Sorbicol. Anyone else going to fall off? Eric's the first one through there. And the others have all made it through. So it's only Silvercol that got eradicated in that first little group. Here comes Mike. Mike and Bubo. And Barbara. So Mike's sort of moving forward in through here. And Rocklight coming fourth. Just follow these through. Getting through that contraption and straight down through this particular one. Through all this stuff. Barbara's gone one side, Mike's gone the other side. I'll just move across and just sort of see if we can see who's going to come out of this the fastest. Still got a long way to go. Still anybody's game. Barbara's hit the bottom there, actually, which is means that she'll probably come through a bit faster. Yeah, there's a fair few of them ganging up. They've just got to find that little gap to then make their way through. And it's Michael's. Oh, he didn't make the gap. He actually found a completely different gap, and he's now out of the game. out of the race. And here we go. We've now have our first one. Geezer Zone coming off this side. Reed coming off this side. And then moving into this big central contraption. So Reed is the first one in. But who'll be the first one to make it down through the gap? We've got Bubo being pushed off. Reed is the first one through. Reed looks like a fair way out in front, actually. Through here, I don't think there'll be very many people, many other marbles to be able to catch up. You just got to find your way off this. And here comes Lewis. Lewis is back in there as well. But Reed just can't quite make his way through. Voodoo Dog's now joined them. Come on, Reed. You can almost get there. Almost. Yep, Reed's the first one through. And being smacked around a bit and being pushed back, or being pushed forward. Voodoo Dog is still in, I think. Yep, we've got pushed back inside the contraption. Here's the victory. Looks like Reed has got this one. Reed did well the first one as well. So Reed's going to be in the box seat here. Okay. Now Voodoo Dog's been stuck back there. Reed is coming back up to win. Voodoo Dog probably gets second. Oh, Barbara's coming in for second, actually. So Reed is the first one in. Yep, so Reed is number one. Barbara coming second. And has not quite hit there yet. Yeah, Barbara's in there. Next is Voodoo Dog, Matthew Logan, and Geezer Zone. Voodoo Dog's in. Matthew's fourth. Geezer Zone fifth. So we're still getting reasonable points up to about 10th. And if you come 10th, you get 10 points, which is worth coming 10th. Which is essentially like coming third. So Drexy's in that position to pick up the 10 points. But Bubicus is challenging for this one. But who's going to get it? Between them, who's going to get it? It's Drexy. And Rocklight going to get eradicated? He is. Okay, so that's the final result through there. We'll have a quick look at the Grand Prix results. So Reed is actually a long way out in front. 35 out in front. So 35, and then we've got 25. So there's 10 points difference between Bubo and then we've got 21 points for Barbara. So there's still our leaderboard at this stage. Poor old Tiger. It's got 0 points. Anyway, you're saying that you died. Yes, you did. There's no extra points in through there. If you got the plus, it means that you sort of did okay. So original intent. I don't think you can win this one. I think you're well and truly out of it. But Reed is certainly in the box seat. That's a big, big lead. That's 10 points. So if Reed gets first, second, third, or 10th, pretty much a done deal as far as winning the game. So let's finish off this one with the next map, the last map. Tiger's saying stop laughing. I can't help myself. I suffer from Schadenfreude, or whatever it's called. All right, here we go. So this one looks dangerous with the with everything going in through here, or maybe not. Doesn't look too bad here, does it? Eric's the first one through. This very easy little area. We've got campfires. We've got all sorts of stuff. Don't know what this is going to do. Yeah, it's been teleported. But where? Oh, okay, they're coming out here. There's Eric and Geezer Zone. Geezer Zone has hit the lead. Just watch our way through here. Got Louise as well. Geezer Zone is slightly in the lead here. Rocklight. Now what's interesting here is we're not actually seeing Reed anywhere. Reed is not in the top 10. Which makes it interesting. Now Geezer Zone's the first one through here. Eric's over this way as well. Geezer Zone's still out slightly in front. It's a very sedate run, isn't it? It was Louis. Oh, Reed is actually 6th, sorry. I forget how many points that is. Geezer Zone's gone through that little loop. So they're all now congregated. Rocklights, oh no, who's the first one out? We don't know. Actually, everyone's congregating here. Got Geezer Zone, Rocklight, Louis. Reed is actually there now. So Reed is just in front of Eric. But Eric's now just hit in front of Reed. So can Reed get the victory? Back up the top through here. It's a nice map, this one. It's very slow. There was something that blew up there. No one's been blown off the map yet. Geezer Zone looks to be in front. Just looking at what's happening on the other side. Let's just zoom out. Just get a bit of a feel for what's going on here. That's the final one there. Just watch to see who comes up these loops. Barbara has hit the lead, with Louis, Geezer Zone coming in 3rd by the looks of things. And then Eric. Reed is there as well. So if Reed would be hoping to get 10th more than anything else. So Louis comes in for the victory, maybe? Who's going to be the first? Oh, this is going to be interesting. Louis is the first one through. Eric, Barbara, Rocklight, Geezer Zone and Bubo. Then here comes Reed at 7th. Matthew 8th. 9th Mike. Bubicus, another 10 points. And then we just got Sorbacol, again, coming in last. Okay, there we go. So, Louise, congratulations on that particular win. Let's see who the winner actually is. We'll have a quick look at the Grand Prix. So just to make doubly sure, this looks pretty close, but yeah, 41 points in there with Reed. So Reed will be first, I think. It's saying that yeah, Bubo sort of is coming in first there, but it should be, again, just to make doubly sure. So Reed, congratulations, you are going to be the winner, but we just make doubly sure that when we finish the Grand Prix that you are the winner in the list, because you certainly have the points, 41 points. We've got 37. Lua's got pretty close in the end there. 37 is not too bad. And then 33 for Barbara. So let's actually just finish it and go to the leaderboard. Okay, so 3rd place was Barbara. Yep, that's what we thought might be the case. Louise came in 2nd. Yep, and then we've got Reed coming in 1st. So, Reed, if you can send me an email, please, and I'll just send you the. Actually, there's the listings there. So that is the correct listings. You can sort of see your Tyler Russ there with one point. Original Intent did get 4 points in the end, but if you can send it to daz@daztactic.com, an email. Now I'm heading off to the beach pretty soon, so if you can do it soonish, I can then get that key out to you. But otherwise, it'll be like it could be up to 24 hours. So if you can if you can just shoot me an email, I can then shoot you back the key. What I tend to do is if I don't hear from anyone for a week, I then just put the prices back in the prize pool. But congratulations, that was you're saying you're pretty intense. It was good actually. Original Intent saying, Barbara, congrats on making the podium. Yeah, it was good. It was actually pretty close in the end there. 37 points is certainly closed the gap. Certainly closed the gap. So yeah, and Bubo was 32. Yeah, no, that was pretty cool. Anyway, it was a good run, Reed, with 41 points, and it's a great little game. So, guys, I'm going to have to leave it there. So, thanks for watching, and I will catch you next week, if not before. I'll be putting out some more videos this week. I'm going to try to do some more live streams on YouTube as well. So, I'll try to sort of mix things up a little bit between Twitch and YouTube. I've just got to find the right sort of games to play on YouTube. I like to just do one-off type things on YouTube if I can, whereas Twitch I tend to do sort of like more series type stuff. Anyway, I'll leave it there.